So welcome along to our session today, which is part of Future Skills Week, which is Boost Your CV, this triple stack hack. We're joined today by Anne Orr from boards 1, 2, 3. And apologies, Anne, I just spotted that we've left out the E on your name on the whole slide here. But we do have an E at the end of your name, so apologies, that was my fault. But Anne joins us today from boards 1, 2, 3. And Anne is the founder of boards 1, 2, 3, and I think she's going to talk us a little bit about the organisation. But after 20 years of working in high growth startups and consulting on digital transformation and governance projects, Anne now runs her own software, services and training company. Boards 1, 2, 3 is focused on empowering both experienced board members and future leaders to bring diversity and purpose into the boardroom. And as you prepare to enter the workplace, you can expect to attend meetings, share ideas, solve problems. Employers want you to engage with their teammates, but if you don't feel confident, anxious, or overwhelmed at the thought of speaking up, help is here. So that's what Anne's here to help us with today, and she'll tell you a wee bit more about the session as well. Anne has designed a unique training experience for students and graduates to break down the world of work into a simple framework that you can use to boost your confidence, improve your communication skills, build your network, and create new opportunities. So welcome Anne along, please, everybody. And just to let you know, you can interact in the chat box and everything as well too. I think Anne has lots of maybe different interactive things within the session as well too. But I will let her take over and tell you a bit more about that. And just thank you for coming along, Anne, and welcome as well too.
Okay, it's great to be here, guys. It's Friday morning, and I have to say I'm actually really excited. This is my third session as part of the Future Skills Week, and I think everyone can agree it's been an amazing week. So just pop into the chat box there, thumbs up if you've had a good week, even like 2 thumbs up if you've had like an amazing week. I should probably put like 5 or 6 in because it's been an overall amazing experience. So let's wrap up today with a really fun session for the next hour. So where we're going today in this next 60 minutes is we want to help boost your CV, right? That's what the whole week's about. It's getting you ready once you graduate and then you're out in the workplace, actually just helping you with some key tips and tricks to really empower you. Empowering, I want you to feel at the end of today's session, I want you to actually feel empowered. You're coming here today because you've probably got a few problems in your head, maybe about when you're approaching meetings or you're talking to other people or you're in groups and how to get your point across, and maybe you just don't feel as confident as you need to feel. So I really want to give you some tips and tricks today to help you feel more empowered around that. And these aren't generally things that just because you're a student or a graduate or new to the workplace you're going to feel. These tips and tricks are going to help you the whole way through your career, because my personal mission is about helping you like go as far as you possibly want to go in your career. So what I truly believe is meetings are career opportunities. And that's what we're really focusing on today, is how do we create those opportunities for you around the whole meeting experience. So today we're doing the triple stack hack, and we're going to break that down and actually show you how you can unlock meetings and actually build career opportunities around them. Okay, it's going to be really, really interactive. So I'm going to keep asking you to pop stuff in the chat box, and I would be so excited if anyone feels like they're confident enough to come off mute and maybe share some ideas or experiences or issues that they're going through. And I would actually really strongly encourage you to do that. If the thought of that is scary to you, actually now's a really good chance to test it out and maybe take that first step. This is a really safe space. We're having a bit of fun today. And even if you just want to come on and speak up, come off mute and say your name. And you don't necessarily have to, go into something really deep. You can just say your name, and if you like something or you don't like something, just to get used into that practice of actually coming off mute and speaking up in a group environment. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about the triple stack hack today. That's really the focus. Before we do that though, can everyone type their name and the course that you're in the chat box, please? So while you're all introducing yourselves to each other, I'll go through my slides and introduce me. So my name is Anne, and as I said, thanks for Hill MBA. Cool, I love that. Hi guys, so my name's Anne and I am on a mission. I'm on a mission to stop people spending their whole life in really bad meetings. We all do it. We all just sit there and plod along for the 30 minutes or the 60 minutes. And then by the end of, we don't know why we're there. We don't know what we're meant to contribute. And we all nod our heads, and then we all leave the meeting. And we're actually sometimes more confused at the end of the meeting than we were at the very start. So we're really on a mission to stop bad meetings. And I want to empower you to be the people that actually make that change happen. Okay, you guys are going to be entering the workplace with your new ideas and your energy, and you can actually make such a big difference to actually stopping bad meetings and building energy and enthusiasm into the teams that you're working in. Thanks everyone for introducing themselves. A lovely mix here of business skills, creative design skills, professional skills, medical skills. So yeah, this is brilliant. Lots of big problems in the world for you guys to solve when you leave Ulster. Okay, so my name's Anne. The company's called Boards 123, and we deliver software, training, and services to our clients. We're really focused on building high performance and diversity into teams and boardrooms. I work with corporate clients and students. I work with startup leaders who maybe are building their first board, and I work with stakeholders to make sure that they're able to track their ESG and sustainability targets on our software dashboard. Everything that we do aligns to the Sustainable Development Goals, and I'm really aligned with Sustainable Development Goal number 5, which is gender equality, 12, which is consumable products, which is why we're really focused on, we use a lot of open data in our development, that's really sustainable for not only how you produce software, but also the energy that you consume around software, but especially around Sustainable Development Goal number 16, which is about inclusion in decision making. And that is really why I've developed this unique program. It's really to unlock different tips and tricks to empower you to be part of the decision-making process, because I don't want you to be sitting in meetings and not contributing or feeling that you're not confident enough to help raise your voice. Actually, it's more important than ever that every single person, there's 49 people on this call today, we should all be looking to be part of decision-making processes, because otherwise it will be left to the wrong people in the wrong rooms to make decisions that affect us all. So yeah, and this is me a couple of weeks ago. So I have to put that up because you know, when you get your photo in the paper, you have to share it with everybody, and eventually your mum will think you actually have a real job. So yeah, all right, so that's my introduction. We've got a little thanks Laura. We've got a little company mascot, and his name is Oscar, and Oscar lives on Instagram. If anyone would like to go and follow us on Instagram, you can see what Oscar gets up to, and he's going to help us today because this is a really fun session, fun 60 minutes. He's going to help us today as we go through our triple stack hack. He hates bad meetings. So that's our introductions over the first part of the workshop. We're now going to do the deep dive stuff. So as we're getting ready, just a quick pause to again say, it's Friday morning, it's 10:10. Thank you. Thanks for showing up, guys. We've got 53 people on the call today, and like, you should already just be very proud that you even show up, because to me, showing up for things, if you register, you RSVP, and then you show up, that is actually such an amazing step. I know some of you have been consistently showing up throughout the week for a lot of these sessions, so a special thanks to all of you guys as well. So yeah, if we can just use our focus and our energy today, and again, I really do encourage people now, it is Friday, so we should be all kind of coming off mute at this point and having a good chat. Hello, Rory. How are you? You didn't miss anything. We're just doing introductions. Okay, so here we go now. We're about to start, Rory, into our triple stack hack. Okay, again, I said this is going to be fun, guys. Okay, so think of a burger. Okay, you've got 3 elements to a burger. You've got the base or the bottom. Maybe put some lettuce on it. Then we've got we've got our veggie burgers in the middle. This is our triple stack. We're making a triple stack here. And then at the top, we've got our bun. And a blob of ketchup. And for any of you people who maybe go to other places, you might like have some secret sauce. Where's the cheese? I know. Where's the this is a vegan burger, I think. I just thought of that. I could get vegan cheese. All right, a tasty burger. There we go. This is our little burger. He's super happy. No burgers were harmed in the making of this slide deck. So we're talking about triple stack hacks. So we're going to think of meetings, and meetings are career opportunities, but meetings, if we think of meetings like a burger, we stack up the burger, we're going to stack up the meeting, okay? So before the meeting, we've got loads of stuff that should happen before a good meeting, okay? So things like the agenda, a few other things. We'll go into those in a second. Then you've actually got the meeting itself, where everyone comes together and we talk and we discuss ideas and we find problems and we find solutions and we talk about risks and issues and we brainstorm and we take action items. So that all happens during the meeting. And then there's this whole part after the meeting, and that's really where a lot of the good stuff happens, where you follow up with the people who ran the meeting, where you follow up on your action items, where if you didn't understand what you were doing during the meeting, you have a chance to follow up with your boss, your manager, or your lecturer after the meeting. And we're going to go into each of these in a little bit of detail over the course of the rest of the workshop, okay? So that's why we've called it the triple stack hack. So we've got all the stuff before the meeting that we need to think about during the meeting and after the meeting. We also have an opportunity now to use digital tools. So 12 months ago, this slide deck would have looked totally different. And I would have been standing in front of you in a room. Now we've got people on the call from India, from Lisbon, from Donegal, from Belfast, from everywhere, and we're all coming together. And we're all collaborating. We're all going to share, what works and what doesn't work with us during the workshop today. So it's really, really exciting to be able to use digital tools to help solve problems or to share information. Okay, so let's talk about part 1 before the meeting. Okay, does anybody on this call want to who is in any of my other two sessions want to come off and actually, can anyone remember what part he stood for? I'm going to go through it in a second, but feel free to come off and talk about it if you want. So we always think about meetings as parties. If you're invited to a party, you want to, be prepared for the party. You want to arrive on time. You want to understand, are you hosting the party? Are you just attending? What are you doing? So meetings, to me, I would really like you guys to start getting as excited about going to meetings as you do about potentially going to a party, okay? Because do you know what? Actually, Future of Work tells us that, it is those skills. Thanks, Raul. It is those skills. It's those communication skills. It's those softer skills we're all isolated. We all crave like companionship. We all crave interacting with other people at the minute. So it's really important when you're showing up for a meeting that you're showing up really positive, that you want to take part, that you want to either contribute or listen or learn or lead or whatever it is, whatever your reason is for being there, you're clarifying your role. That's the energy that I want you to be bringing to the party or to the meeting. So we have this, so there's lots of stuff that you can be doing before a meeting. So you can be prepared. That means reading up on like the agenda, reading up on any paperwork that happens before the meeting, making sure you arrive on time is really great. Understanding what your role is and your tasks, but most importantly, it's all about being yourself. And I know that definitely over the course of the week, people do, and we all do it. I absolutely do it. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I can honestly, hand on my heart say, probably for the first 10 years of my career, I find it extremely difficult to speak up in meetings. And even though you know that what they're discussing is the wrong solution, or what they're deciding to do won't really make a difference to the project or to the person, if you don't have that confidence to speak up, that kind of stays with you, and it's really hard to do that. And that's why I'm on a mission to just stop bad meetings. If you're sitting in meetings and you're not able to contribute, you have to take ownership of that, and actually, you have to really work through it. So that's why I have this framework here to try and help everybody improve their confidence and reduce their anxiety around speaking up in meetings. Okay, so yeah, it's all about being prepared. So before you go into a meeting, I want you guys to, now we're going to do some little interaction stuff. I'm just conscious that there's 51 people logged into the call today. So I'll probably ask everyone to do this in the chat box to start off with, and then apologies in advance if I pick on you, but I want to just get a few people off mute here. So before you go into a meeting, you're going to prepare for the meeting. So I want everyone now to just think of maybe the last meeting they were in, whether it was a work meeting or a university meeting, that maybe didn't go as well as you wanted it to go. Maybe it was with your course tutor about your dissertation. Maybe you've got a part-time job and you had a meeting with your manager, or you had to go to a team meeting. Think about whatever that meeting was, and or a club and society meeting, and it just didn't go as well as you wanted it to go. So once you've got that meeting in your mind, can you type in to the chat, like if you had a goal in advance of that meeting? So for example, I'm going to meet my lecturer at 2 o'clock today, for example, pretending. Am I just going to show up for that meeting? Do you just show up for that meeting? Or do you write down in advance on a piece of paper or on a post-it, my goal for this meeting, the thing that I really, really want to get out of this meeting is X or Y. So can somebody like maybe come off, do you want to type in to mute, what a meeting is and whether or not you set meeting goals? So for example, you would type in team meeting, like no goals, something like that. So really what I want to know is, thanks Fiona, what I'm really want to know is, how much are you guys preparing for meetings today? So Riona says, I write down all the questions that you want answered before the meeting. Otherwise, I forget some of them and only realize after the meeting's ended. This is a fantastic thing to do. My memory, yes, my memory is shocking. Interviews, selling yourself to ensure to achieve the job, okay? So I did read an article recently, or I saw it somewhere where, they actually encourage you to bring notes into interviews. And now, because you're probably doing your interviews over Zoom, you know, you could just have a sheet of paper in front of you, which actually makes it so much easier. Amy, you hate meetings that you don't know are happening or what they are regarding, especially in retail. You just get basically called to a meeting and you just have to receive information. So you've no opportunity to transition, you know, actually doing the work to actually being in a meeting. Kerry, write down questions or points in advance, then take read of room to see if it seems relevant to bring up or not. Like that, yeah. Yeah, Kerry, that's great. And then as we go through the before and after part of the meeting, I think that's really like up there on the skills level, because you're basically understanding it's all about timing, isn't it? Because you want to get an answer to your question, and if the room isn't in the right receiving place for it, it's not really going to work out. Peter asks, is it okay to carry a sheet of notes into an interview? I mean, I think this is a really good question for the career employability guys. Traditionally, I would have said that you know, sometimes you can bring your CV in when you're going in person and you can refer to your CV. I think that definitely when it comes to being in an interview, no employer expects you to not be nervous. They would kind of expect you to be slightly nervous. So I think it's okay if you want to bring your notes in to kind of say, you know, I'm just going to bring my notes in just in case I forget something, because I want to make sure I cover all my points. And it's okay to kind of pause and refer to the notes. It's really they're trying to understand whether or not you have experience in problem solving and, you know, have that confidence to answer the question. But I think it's much more common now for people to bring interviews into notes. Rebecca says, preparing, talking fluently with friends or family so that you can seem more calm when you are at the presentation. I had a PowerPoint presentation and practice sessions help being nervous. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, practice, practice, practice. Be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. It's really, really important. So understanding what your meeting goals are. So what I don't want you guys to be doing is accepting a meeting invitation and not understanding your why. Why am I there? What do I want to get out? What problem do I want to solve in this meeting? And what are my personal career objectives? So you can go to meetings and not be leading the meeting, but you could just be listening and observing and learning, which is totally fine. You might just be like getting some information from your manager that you need to know about, and they want to make sure that they've delivered it to you personally, whether it's virtually or, you know, in a meeting room. So there's lots of different reasons why you can be in a meeting, but I think it will really help you understand, just like as if you're going to a party and you're like going, I can't wait to go to this party because I've got loads of energy today and I really want to speak to everybody in the room. Some days your energy just isn't there and you're like, I really want to go to this party, but I just actually want to maybe, you know, kind of listen today and make sure I understand exactly where I am and just you know, interact with a few people. So it's all about clarifying your role. This is my Friday slide deck. I hope you're enjoying it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. I don't know if you like it, guys. So we all have different roles to play, don't we? So there's the hero and the princess and the burger. And that's the important thing about, I'll be really sad if anyone doesn't like it. No pressure. Yes, Karina, you love it. Thank you. We all have different roles to play in meetings. So sometimes you can be leading the meeting, and sometimes you can be presenting. Like one of you guys earlier on said you had to present. Okay. So I go to lots of webinars where I'm just listening. I'm on mute and my video's off and I'm listening. Today, it's my turn to present. You guys are all highly skilled. You're all going to be presenting your dissertations or your year-end projects or your team projects. And that's what university is all about. That's what those future skills were kind of giving you. It's giving you more opportunities to learn about the different types of skills and translate and basically show you how a lot of the stuff that you're doing in Ulster is transferable skills into the workplace. So you already are problem solving. You already are showing up to online meetings. You already are presenting. You already are solving problems, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is actually when you get out into the workplace, you might find that there's a lot of bad meetings out there. So you really can be empowered to take accountability and responsibility for getting the best out of those meetings when you actually go into them. Or else you run the risk of, you know, maybe taking a job for a couple of years and getting really frustrated because you don't understand your role or your responsibility or your objective or your goal of being in a meeting. So that's, oh yeah, there's my slide. Listen and learn, contribute or lead. So you could be doing different things like that, okay? So we're nearly finished the first part of the triple stack hack. This is the base of the bun. So I want to know, based on what everyone just shared there, if anyone would like to come off mute and, you know, say, based on what we just talked about, is there anything you do differently before a meeting? Should I start picking on people? Karina, can I pick on you because you give me a love heart? Are you able to come off mute? Thank you.
Hopefully they're set up that they can come off mute. Just let us know in the chat box if you can't come off mute. Okay, what do we see? I'll maybe see if I can change the settings.
I'm trying, but I can't mute. Yeah, it's something in the settings. Okay, so right, while Eilish is doing that, Rahul said, few meetings, what are you going to do different? Few meetings are where you prepare and act in the meeting itself. Okay, yeah. So I don't does that mean you need to go to more, have the opportunity to go to more meetings where you act up? Mary, you gave me an emoji with 2 love hearts. Can you come off mute, Mary? And say, is there anything different you're going to do?
There should be option if you have it set up for you to come off mute, if you want to. Okay, thank you.
I'll come off it. Sure.
Thanks, Peter.
Suppose I need to do a lot more preparation before meetings. I tend to admittingly rush in, hoping that something will be generated during the meeting. I suppose the expression would be winging it, but yeah, from the meetings that I've had the past 2 years, I would say it would have been far more sensible to prepare beforehand.
And that's just something that happens. I mean, it's been a crazy last year anyway, so it's been very hard for people to even like manage your time during the pandemic, to kind of think, oh well, now's my time to prepare in advance, because even though we had less places to be, we kind of made ourselves a lot busier in our own worlds. So, but I think that's a really positive learning, Peter, because you will get so much more out of it if you really just, you know, literally write down a post-it. I'm going into a meeting today, and the most important thing that I need to figure out in this meeting is X. And really just focus on that, and it will be really helpful.
There have been 2 distinct meetings in my memory where I think I really should have prepared better. One was when I was going into a meeting as the secretary of the uni karate club, and I hadn't prepared a single thing. I was just going because all the other like sports club committee members were going, and didn't really have much of a plan in mind as to what to say during the meeting. So that was poorly prepared. And then also preparing for the dissertation, I ended up contacting my supervisor and just hoping to bounce ideas off him without really having a set plan of what I was really going to do. So instead, I just ended up overwhelming my supervisor with idea after idea, but with no real sense of solidifying subject.
Yeah, I think everyone can relate to that, especially if, like, when you're at that part of a dissertation or your thesis that, you know, you've got so much potential areas to focus on, then how do you get all of those and narrow them down and get to that point where you're focused? So maybe that's actually the conversation, that's actually the meeting. Hey, I've got all of these ideas, and I can't pick my top 2 or 3 ideas to really focus on. Can we talk about that in today's meeting? And actually, that's the agenda, that's the why, that's the reason for the meeting. So don't beat yourself up, because these are all like fantastic examples. We've all done it. We've all gone in and go, like, I'm an ideator, I've got like 100 ideas, but are actually any of them actually can we actually execute any of them? Probably not 99%. No problem, Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah. Anybody who needs to leave, well, don't leave, but this has been recorded, so I'm sure the link will be sent out and you can catch up with us at another time. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Have a nice day. Okay, so let's move on to part 2, because this is actually what Peter was talking about. Which is getting ready. What actually happens in the meeting? So this is the meat, or the vegan meat, the veggie burger part. Okay, so meetings are career opportunities, and when I say meetings are career opportunities, I mean before the meeting there's a massive opportunity there to really spend a lot of time thinking about your why. Why am I going? What do I want to get out of this meeting? How will I leave this meeting feeling more confident and more empowered that I know what to do next? Okay. Then, as Peter said again, if you go to a meeting and you don't have that preparation done, there's all of this other stuff that then happens in the meeting. And if you don't know your why, the other stuff can really overwhelm you and actually make you more confused. So I'm just going to quickly go through these different areas, because I'm just really conscious it's Friday, it's 10:30, and we could do like an hour on basically each of these. But if you're going into a meeting, there's really 5 things that you should have. And one is your agenda, which some people can do like a big Word document with, 10 or 15 points. Personally, I really highly recommend that you really narrow it down to like 2 or 3 key things that you need to talk about in the agenda. You don't necessarily have to do a Word document. It can just be, a couple of bullet points in an email. If you need to go and meet your professor or your lecturer, trust me, keep it simple is a really good way to really to really make sure that everyone is engaged and focused on solving the 1 or 2 problems in the meeting. Okay. There's nothing worse than a 4-hour meeting with 30 things on the agenda, and then nobody gets anything discussed properly. So you're really much better focusing on 2 or 3 things and nailing those in the meeting, and then moving on during the next meeting, moving on to the next thing. Okay, so an agenda would have, the purpose of today's meeting is the things that were the topics we're going to talk about are, the person leading this meeting is insert name, and this meeting will last for 30 minutes. This meeting will last for an hour. Okay, so actually setting those things out really helps people, understand, you know, the why are we here? Then when we're talking about rules, it's okay to have different rules. It's okay if you're not leading the meeting. It's okay if somebody asks you, hey, can you write stuff on the either the whiteboard or the Miro board, or, you know, the concept board. All these digital tools now are actually fantastic. Like, so today or throughout the week, it's been such an amazing support to have like 2 or 3 employability people on the call to just catch all of the stuff that's happening all around, you know, in the chat box, and bringing people in and out of the meeting. So there's lots of really key important rules there, where if you're new to a company or an organization, those are great opportunities to step up and take part and you know, and contribute to the meetings. And then you're actually in the room, then you're listening and you're learning, and you're actually seeing the different behaviors and the culture in the workplace and stuff like that. So there's loads of fantastic career opportunities in meetings. Taking minutes should really be focused on, you know, what are the key points and the decisions that we made. Really putting the action items should have things like, you know, who owns the action item, what does done actually look like. So actually describing out what the action is, so that if somebody was reading it for the first time, they would absolutely be able to understand what they had to do around that. And putting deadlines, really, really important. If you don't put a deadline, I can't think of any single person on the planet that will ever kind of say, well, you know, you didn't give me a deadline. So, and then make sure that you all agree, if you're going to have another meeting, that you agree when that's going to be, because it is very hard. Once people leave the room and turn their phones back on, it's really, really hard actually to get people back consistently, to come back to meetings over and over again. But those are like the kind of the admin stuff, the first 3 circles there. But really, meetings are all about having conversations, having open dialogue, not conflict, open dialogue. Open dialogue and conflict are 2 different things. So we don't want bullying, we don't want shouting, we want active listening. We want people to feel safe, that they can speak up and contribute. Even if maybe if you're more introverted, you may not be speaking up until the end of the last part of the meeting. Don't feel that because the meeting's nearly over that you don't have time to speak up. Other people speak up and think in different ways. Maybe they just start talking and eventually they'll come to the end of their points. There's different ways that people solve problems. Some people solve problems by reflecting quietly, and then at the very end of the meeting, they might just contribute based on what everyone else says. Other people may actually do all of their problem solving by speaking and talking for a long time during the meeting. So the 2 different personalities, the 2 different problem solvers can sometimes get frustrated, because if the reflector needs time to reflect, then they might get frustrated by the person doing all of the talking, and vice versa. So just be conscious that people have different ways to solve problems. And that's where making decisions, these tools to make decisions come in. So you've got things like brainstorming, presenting ideas, different online collaboration tools, having a risk register to understand what's the worst case scenario that could possibly happen here. So I've put this up here because what we really need to show you is there's so much that goes on in meetings. When we're thinking about career opportunities, the more meetings that you're in, I'm not saying you should be going to meetings all the time, but the more exposure you have to meetings, the more your muscle memory start to develop around, that was a really great way to solve a problem, or, oh, the culture in this team is really, really bad. And it's just about actually you getting to a place where you're really comfortable and you understand, you know, the type of role you want, the type of company you want to work in, the type of values that are really important to you, and actually developing those strategic and critical thinking skills that employers are always looking for. And as I said, you already have lots of those transferable skills based on what you've done now. But yeah, here we go. So the question here is, what will you now do differently during the meetings? So if anyone wants to come off mute, now's your chance to practice speaking up. While you're coming off mute, Amy says, I think sometimes when you're the youngest in the room, it can be difficult for your voice or ideas to be heard, as the people there might disregard your opinion due to your lack of experience. Amy, do you want to come off mute and give us a bit more information around that? I think what you're experiencing is totally valid. You know, there is when you're maybe the more junior person on the team, you might feel that the senior people always have the right answer. I will definitely say, from my experience with corporate and executives, that after a while, you know, they understand how to solve the problem, but they actually need junior voices or new voices to help them clarify what the problem is, because they may not be experiencing the problem the same way you experience a problem. So this is where like diversity and inclusion comes in. So if you are, yeah, thanks, Peter. If you are even if you're the junior or the younger person, you might be the person that actually understands the problem and has a much better idea about different options to solve that problem than somebody who's 20 or 30 years older than you.
Yeah, and can I just interrupt too?
Yeah,
I totally agree with everything that you're saying there. Definitely, is that you're coming from maybe a different perspective if they are, and you can maybe come in with new ideas and ways that maybe they haven't thought about before as well too. And even thinking about our own team, we have placement students in this year, and it's really refreshing to hear their perspectives a lot of time, and a lot of time it's called upon to hear from their, because obviously we work a lot with students as well too, so it's something that we find really valuable in our team as well too. So although it might feel like that, Amy, sometimes I think exactly what Anne is saying is that, you know, you will have something valuable to contribute to the meetings as well too. So try not to let that maybe preconception kind of prevent you from talking in a meeting as well too.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your advice. It's I obviously work in retail and have done for like the last 8 years nearly, and I've been on some sort of it's not really a union, but it's like a committee where, you know, you can bring ideas and solutions to the problems, and I was always the youngest person and sometimes maybe the only female, or like, you know, there was only 2 of us, and yeah, sometimes you just felt you were being spoken at, and that you were just there for, you know, to tick a box because you were young, or that you worked, you know, like in the evenings or part-time or at the weekends.
Yeah, I could probably talk to you for another half hour because I've got loads of ideas for you, Amy. But what I would say is there's mentor sessions available as part of this week, and retail is changing so quickly, but we need people to stay in retail. And it is like the new like digital generation coming through that are really going to make the difference when it does, you know, completely switch. There's so many different opportunities for you to join like membership organizations to boost your confidence, to like do junior chamber, find a mentor, all of these different things, because I think either you're in the wrong organization if they're not listening to you, or maybe you just need to do something yourself to just boost that confidence, to give you that extra level of security around that you have the right opinion. But yeah, I would definitely say follow up with the employability team, maybe to get a mentor, and that will really supercharge your ability to move your career forward in the area of retail if you're interested in that. Yeah, but what you're feeling is right, but there's ways to help to make it feel okay. That's better. Okay. So part 3. We're in part 3 already. time flies by. Okay, after the meeting, so we spent all of this time in meetings. What are we going to do after the meeting? Well, you know, we all just want to like close a laptop and make a cup of tea. But actually, the best thing to do is after a meeting, actually put about 30 minutes into your diary, as close to after that meeting as possible, to do your follow-up. Because if you don't do it immediately after, you kind of lose the momentum a little bit, especially if anyone's in sales or marketing or client facing, like law, accountancy, all of these type professional skills. The closer to after having that meeting, whether with the client or with the team, or if you're a leader, or if anyone's going into software, the closer to after that meeting that you can do your follow-up, the more effective your follow-up will be. Because what happens is we all move on to the next meeting and the next meeting, and then it kind of like loses its priority. Or if you're going to meet your lecturer, the closer to following up with them directly afterwards, the better for you, because, you know, when they start meeting, you know, more and more students after you, it'll kind of lose its impact. So there's this whole block of stuff around things that you can do after a meeting, to actually really empower your career advancement, your career opportunities. So can anyone think of what different things, put it in chat, what sort of things could you do? Oh, what does actually involve doing? Okay, Rihanna, that's what we're going to talk about now. Well, what do you guys think it would be doing? Some of you already know a few of the answers here. Pop it in chat if you've got any ideas. So you could say, going over the notes which you've taken. I like that. Yes, Isabella. Restating the main points. Writing what happened during the meeting. Yeah. That's a really good trick, actually. I've got an amazing mentor myself. As you go through your career, trust me, you will always need mentors. There's a fantastic mentor program in UU Connects. Everybody should be registered and everybody should have a mentor. It will change your life, okay? Mentors are there to help you. But one of my mentor recently, I had like a call with a global company over in America, and she said, okay, if you got your notes there, Anne, I want you to actually, and I had so many notes, she goes, I want you to go and pick out the 3 things that when you were speaking with that person, what were the 3 things that resonated most with them? And those are the 3 things that you need to focus on, not any of the other things, okay? So that was for a client-facing call. So I thought that was really, really good. So Isabella and Catherine, you know, and Aoife are saying of that, you know, going back over your notes and really picking out what the key things were. Because sometimes when you're in the meeting, it's hard to actually, you know, pick up on those essential points. Making sure you understand your task. Amy, you can't underestimate that enough. I mean, how often do we agree to stuff and then we're like, we're not quite sure actually what we agreed to or when it's due. So such an amazing opportunity for anybody who's got an action item to just touch base again with whoever the senior person is and just go, hey, look, I've got a few ideas about this. I just wanted to make sure, is this exactly what you want me to do? And every time you're connecting with somebody, you're building up trust with that person. You're building up that trusted relationship. And you'll eventually get to a point when more opportunities come up, they'll think of you. And really your career won't just be driven by, you know, what happens, what you do yourself to empower your career. It's actually when you're not in the room, if you're in that person's mind and they're thinking, oh yeah, well, do you know what, Anne always consistently follows up, Anne always says thank you, Anne connected me with LinkedIn, Anne's keen to learn and participate. When you're not in the room, that's really when your name gets selected for opportunities. So the more follow-up you have with the person, you know, you're not going to stalk them or hound them. You know, you're going to have a reason to connect with the person. But the more you can do, the more that you're like imprinting yourself on that person as somebody who's keen, reliable, dependable, trustworthy, all of those things that employers are really looking for. Okay, so I don't know what anyone a Friends fan? Chandler agrees. I don't understand what that means.
There was an episode of Friends where Chandler falls asleep at a meeting, and
Oh.
he agrees to move to Tulsa. So he doesn't relate what he's agreeing to. So.
Oh my gosh! Right, okay. Well, that's definitely going in the next version of the slide deck. All right, I'm only halfway through the reunions. I only got halfway through it last night, so that's brilliant, Amy. Thank you. That is the exact thing I'm talking about. Laura says, as you're beginning a career, it's so important to develop your networks. Yes, absolutely, Laura. As Angela said, maybe connect with one person at the meeting. Right, so this is literally an open invitation. 44 people, 43 people, including me. There are so many people on this call. Build your LinkedIn profile and connect with them. Connect with me, connect with Ailish, connect with the employability team. Those are like follow-up things that you can be doing. Saying thank you for the meeting, thanks for your time, all sort of stuff. So bringing biscuits or mints or something ever so often, if it's appropriate, helps. Yes, Kara, you can definitely come over to my house and bring me all the biscuits you want. I love that. Yes, connect. So yeah, what will you do differently after the meeting? If you want to pop that in, that would be great. Or does anybody want to come off mute? We'll keep moving on. So, because I'm dreaming of biscuits, tea, and friends. This is fantastic. I love this Friday morning session. This is great. Okay. There's a great note there from the employability team that if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, that is something that they help with. So yeah, it's really, really important to have that online professional look about it. So we're kind of wrapping up now. I'm going to do some top tips and then how to stay connected by Ursula. Top tips and how to stay. So top tip number 1. If you went to 4 of these sessions during the week, you can get an EDGE accreditation. Make sure you do that. If you don't know what that is, and this is your first time hearing about it, contact Career Services. It's amazing. It's brilliant. I wish I had something like that when I was in university. And trust me, those things do really, really matter to employers. Build your LinkedIn profile. It's almost like we coordinated this, we didn't. Build your LinkedIn profile, connect with me, connect with everybody on this call, just get connected. You'll be surprised how powerful a tool like LinkedIn is. Find a mentor. So mentors will change your life. You'll just get to a point where you're kind of stuck and you're not, and you know that you have the potential to move forward to whatever the next step is, but you're just not quite sure how to get there. That's when you reach across or you reach up to your mentor and they guide you on the way because they've already been there, done that, and they know how to get up the mountain, climb up the mountain, and climb back down again. Mentors are absolutely amazing, and I think for a female founder as myself, it's really fantastic. There's so many other female founder mentors out there that you can really connect with, and we're all here to help each other, and we're all here just to build more diversity in the workplace and just create opportunities for each other. Top tip number 4 is embrace meetings. Okay, they are career opportunities. Caveat to that, if you're going to a meeting every week, and trust me, I have had these types of conversations with people that I coach, you're actually crying and you're upset and you're distraught after going to a meeting. And I know that's a shocking thing to say, but that actually does happen quite a bit in certain sectors and industries because you're just so demotivated and you're so overwhelmed. Then that's actually a big problem in terms of culture or bullying, or you're not getting career opportunities, you're not having career growth. You really need to have like a serious conversation with your mentor or advisor, or like I'm sure if you're out in the workplace, there's an alumni as an alumni, there's a way to connect back with employability to kind of get some support around that. But so I'm not telling you to ignore serious problems, but if meetings just aren't quite gelling, you're just quite not sure what you're meant to be doing, just take a few of the tips and tricks we talked about today. Be prepared, understand why you're there, decide what your role is. Are you there to listen or lead or learn? And really embrace them and do the follow-up and the preparation after meetings, and it will actually make a big difference, and understanding your why. That's a really important thing. Okay, so feedback, I'll pop a link into the chat. Unless anyone wants to scan that QR code, I'll pop a link into the chat while Eilish is wrapping up. Oscar's on Instagram. If you want to follow Oscar and post a photo of yourself with your pet, he would love that, and he'll give you a little sticker. My name's Anne at Boards123. Send me an email, connect with me on LinkedIn, check out the website. That's all from me for right now. I know Eilish is going to wrap up, and while she's doing that, I'll put the feedback link into the chat box. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anne. It was really interesting and some brilliant points. I really like the bit where you kind of broke down the meeting. I think it's really useful to see that. I remember moving into work after graduating and having to go to meetings, and some of the terminology is just so alien, like an agenda and talking about the chairperson and minutes and all that stuff. I think we really underestimate sometimes that, if you haven't been to a meeting before, you don't necessarily always know the process and sometimes the formality of some meetings. So really useful to kind of see that on behalf of maybe the students and some of the graduates here as well too. But generally, so brilliant. I loved your visuals, and it was great for everybody that took part as well too. So thank you to all the students that took part. We do have some sessions that are still coming up. I know we're on Friday, but there's a couple more sessions happening today. So we've got one happening from 12 till 1. Which is Katie Matthews from the Mind Tribe. She's doing the Power of Growth Mindset. So that's from 12 till 1. So she's looking at positive self-talk. She's looking at fixed versus growth mindset. Really valuable session. So I'd encourage you to go along. This afternoon from 1:30 to 2:30, we also have David Mead, and he's doing a session on Launch Your Future. So that'll be a fantastic event as well too. So check that out. We also have, and I know it's not technically part of Future Skills Week, but next week we are running a digital assessment centre simulation. Now this is run by Grad Consult. I would really encourage any of the students or graduates to go along to this, because this is going to be a really practical session. So if you're still looking for work, or you're going to be looking for placements or internships or graduate roles in the future, this would be great experience for you to get an idea of what an assessment centre is actually like. You're going to have the practical side of it, and it's run by experts at Grad Consult as well too. Really fantastic event. You'll get to do group tasks and things like that as part of it as well too. So I'm actually just going to pop the link for that into in here for you. So if you do want to go, sorry, Anne, I know you just put your form in there too, but there's another link for you all. So if you want to check that out and book onto it, I'd really recommend that you do that, because it's some practical experience for you if you are going to be going for an assessment centre. It's a really common assessment tool now when you are going for going as well too. Can science students go for the assessment centre? Yes, anybody. It's open to all students and graduates. So yes, anybody can go. More the merrier, definitely. Some of the things.
Is that those like 500 civil service jobs as well? You know, there's like 500 EO1 jobs. Like seriously, don't miss that.
So
assessment session.
Yeah, so assessment centres, yeah, they cover lots of different things, and so many employers use it now. Even they're not even always big employers, you know, these big recruitment drives like that. Yes, they're very common in those kind of big ones, but definitely it's a worthwhile exercise. So I'd really recommend that you go, because it's going to help you for the likes of interviews as well too. Anne, you had mentioned, and Laura had put the link in just above for the EDGE accreditation. Remember, if you have attended or are you planning to attend 4 events as part of this, if you can just fill out the little questionnaire at the end, you can get this EDGE accredited. So it's an EDGE activity. If you don't know what EDGE is, it's our skills award that we do for undergraduate students. You complete 3 activities over the duration of your degree, and you can receive the Edge Award, and these are extracurricular activities, and there's lots and lots of things that you can do as part of that. If you do 5 activities, you can have the Edge Excel Award as well too. So you can go to our Edge website and you can find out a bit more. Laura put the link for this particular activity just above if you want to scroll up. But if you want to find out more about the Edge Award, there's just the general Edge site there as well too. And just one final thing, or 2 final things. Anne had mentioned there about the coaching that you can get. So some of our speakers throughout the week have offered to do coaching as well too. And I'll just put the link up here. And you can also get any coaching from ourselves and the employability advisors as well too. So if you're interested in that, it's a great opportunity to get one-to-one coaching from some of the speakers that are here. And I believe Anne, yourself as well too, there's some coaching sessions.
Yeah.
So some available from Anne as well too. I know she mentioned some of the people chatting earlier. So if you want to check that out and you want to find out more about it, there is the link for it. And one final thing is, anybody that's attended any of our events this week will be sending you out a feedback form. So if you could please check that out and please give us your feedback. It really helps us to kind of design things like this and to find out what was really useful for us as well too. So we really appreciate if you take the time to do that too. But just a final massive thank you. It's been a great session, and thank you to everybody for coming along and for engaging and taking part as well too. It's made it really valuable for everyone. But thank you, and have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the rest of the week, everyone. Thank you.